Hi AP, let's talk about how to use your sources on the synthesis portion of the AP exam. Since I've been so into metaphors lately, I'm going to use the metaphor of one of my favorite children's books, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So we're going to talk about how your sources can be used to mature your claim. So guys, how could a claim be like a caterpillar? Take a look at the little egg down here on the leaf. This is your claim before encountering your sources, because in the beginning, right after you read your synthesis prompt, you should have a little baby claim. It's just a little egg, just a little idea in your head. This claim, of course, is going to be based only on your previous knowledge of the topic, just what you've brought into the test with you. The previous knowledge might be limited, but that's actually just fine. I still want you to think about your response to the prompt. You're going to get more information from your sources to help develop your claim further. Your claim, when you first read that prompt, it's like a caterpillar because, as we already identified, it's new, it's underdeveloped, but it exists. So, how are the sources like the food? If you remember The Very Hungry Caterpillar, he eats his way through all of this delicious food, there he is down here, in order to become a nice big fat caterpillar that can enter the cocoon. So as you read through these sources, your knowledge is going to grow just like the caterpillar grows, just as he gets fatter. You're going to be able to identify in your sources ideas that support your claim, and sources that counter your claim, that go against what it is you're arguing. You should be making connections among sources and identifying sources that contradict one another. The whole idea here is this is the substance of the caterpillar. It's also the substance of your essay. Think about it this way. As the caterpillar takes a bite out of each one of these little pieces of food, he brings a little bit of it with him, and he grows a little bit more as a result. All of the sources that you read are going to contribute to your understanding in some way, whether they are supporting your claim or countering your claim. Now, all of this eating makes a nice big fat caterpillar, and that nice big fat caterpillar is going to get into a cocoon, and he's going to come out, of course, a beautiful butterfly. At the end of this process, your claim is going to be informed by your sources and made into a much better, much more thorough, detailed, comprehensive claim. In order to support this claim, you're going to need to build those connections among your sources, link sources that are similar, and juxtapose sources that are different. You want to make sure you're citing sources by including words or phrases, but not whole sentences, from the texts. Let's look at an example of developing a little baby claim, a little mini claim, into a big, beautiful claim. So after reading the prompt for, let's say, the 2014 essay, you might generally think that college is worth spending money on it. Then you read over the sources, and you're scanning the sources and then reading a few in detail to find evidence to either support or counter your claim. This first example, some people are hustled off to college, then to the cubicle against their own inclinations and natural bents when they would rather be learning to build things or fix things, comes from source A. I would use this to counter my prompt, to counter my claim that college is worth the money. This next one from source B, a liberal education teaches freedom by example through the experience of free research, thinking, and expression. This really supports my claim because it says that a liberal education, or the kind of education you get in a college, helps you think better, think more freely. This is a paraphrase from source C because source C was a visual text. I would use this to counter my claim about college being worth the money. If college graduates are getting less and less money after graduating, it makes sense that it's going to describe why college is not worth the money you have to spend on it. This piece of evidence from source D states that the most unfortunate part of the case against college is that it encourages children, parents, and schools to aim low. This supports my idea that college is worth it, because it's arguing that going to college makes kids aim high or have high goals for their life. And lastly, a majority of Americans, that's 57%, say the higher education system in the United States fails to provide students with good value for the money they and their families spend. Of course, this one counters my claim that college is worth the money. Now, how am I going to incorporate this evidence in? If I decide to use the following to support my claim, for example, this element from source B, I might cite the author. Now, it says on the AP exam that it's fine to cite by the source letter, but I also think to have more mature prose, citing by the author in MLA style is a really good idea to do. So notice here I've taken out some of the quote above. I've shortened it a little bit, and more importantly, I've embedded it into a sentence. According to Roth, the experience of a liberal education teaches the experience of free research, thinking, and expression. Or I might take this portion from source D and embed it this way. In fact, arguing against college causes people to aim low and encourages young people not to reach for their goals. So I took my little baby claim and I found two pieces of evidence that are going to help me enhance my claim, help to inform it and provide more detail. This first one is talking about how a college education creates free thinkers. This second source was talking about how applying to college forces people to aim high in their lives. I'm going to use these two things to create a strong claim, a claim that is much more specific. College is worth the investment because it inspires young people to think freely, that comes from source B, and to aim high, that comes from source D. So you can see how this process of using the sources to enhance your claim creates a much more specific and stronger claim. But there's one other thing I want to mention, and those are the visual texts that you see in your packets. Each of the prompts has a visual text. This is what I want you to do. Use the visual text just like a print text, a language text, to either support or refute your claim. Be sure you take the step of summarizing what you see, since you can't really quote from it. And then acknowledge that you are inferring or you're drawing a conclusion about the visual image that either supports or refutes your claim. That's a good way to work the visual image in. Now, I want you to work on your synthesis prompts by starting with that little baby caterpillar claim. Use your sources to enhance your claim. Make it nice, big, and fat so that it can be a beautiful butterfly. Make sure you're citing from at least 3 sources and include small parts of the sources for evidence. Please, no big chunks of sentences, phrases or words at most. So I recorded this presentation on May 1st, the same day that I delivered it in class, and I'll be posting it to the website on May 1st. Thanks so much.